So does that justify everything that you do?
Excuse me, let me tell you something. What do you think they were doing it for? Because they were trying to save us from poverty? No, they did it because they needed us. It's honor and family and loyalty. And some of us wanted a piece of the action. Now, we weren't educated like the Americans, but we had the balls to take what we wanted.
Well, hello again. Holy shit, is it going to be this fucking bad? I stated I had laryngitis for the last fucking week, but oh my God, I didn't think it was going to sound this horrible going live, but I'm throwing that out the window. I'm doing a show. I said I was going to do one, and I'm here. But hello again, everyone. Welcome to another live edition of On The Go, right here on Driving to the Top Productions, where I'm your host, the host of DTTP, Driving to the Top Productions. My government name's Marcus. You could call me that. You could call me Haas. You could call me Marky Mark. You can call me whatever you want. But I'm here to entertain y'all. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me on this hump day. It's March 4th, 2026. Hope everybody's doing great. I'm getting better. But you know what to do. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Follow this show at On The Go _TXLA on Instagram and X. Driving to the Top Productions you can find on YouTube, Instagram, and so forth. Subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. You know where to find me on X, Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. This show is presented by Rogue Energy, the official gaming drink of On The Go, and presented by POGGERS, the official vitamin supplement of On The Go. Pick your poison. Whether if it's poggers.shop, rogueenergy.com, there's the promo code OTG to get 10% off of your order. I can't scream. I got a lot of shit I want to get off my chest. Some teams are pissing me off. But as you can tell how I sound, I ain't going to be able to scream this week. I'm going to talk shit, but I can't scream. Courtesy of trying to get ejected from a playoff game last week on bullshit calls. That's the LHSA refs for you. You should have saw how I sounded a week ago. I could barely talk. I had to basically write or type what I had to say. My voice is slowly coming back, but I can't scream or I'll sound like this. I just tried to scream. Oh, let's get this show rolling. We got a lot to talk about, a lot of stuff to pick up on. Before I go through my usual routes, I got to talk about the GOAT first. Because the GOAT himself, he did 2 3-peats in the NBA. And now he just did a 3-peat NASCAR. Michael Jordan's team, 23-11, their ace driver, Tyler Reddick, made history. I think this is the face of NASCAR, folks. This might be the greatest driver we have in this generation. Tyler Reddick has done what no other racer did in the history of that sport. He's won the first 3 races of a season. He won Daytona. He won in Atlanta. He just won the Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas. How often does that, I'm sure fictional Ricky Bobby could have did it. But who in their wildest mind would have thought this would happen? He did something Dale never done, Jeff Gordon never done, Jimmy Johnson, even the great Dale, the late Dale, Daddy Dale never done. Kyle Busch's bitch ass never done. Carl Edwards never done. I'm just naming random drivers. Tyler Reddick did it first. Just like a week ago in Atlanta, he started number 1 and won number 1 with SVG, Shane Van Gibbs. Oh my God. Shane Van Gisbergen. And I'm not even having trouble saying that last name.
If one of y'all says some silly ass name, this whole class is gonna feel my wrath.
They've been talking about SVG was the heavy favorite of winning the Grand Prix. Started 13th, but was the runner-up. Christopher Bell finished third, starting that race 8th. Where in stage 1, Ross Chastain finished in first with SVG in second, Michael McDowell in third. Then after stage 2, Ty Gibbs finished first with AJ Allmendinger at runner-up and Daniel Suarez at third. But I'm about to deliver a little more statistics for y'all at NASCAR. I usually just run these down. I promise probably after next week's race, I'm going to have more details to give y'all besides all who finished in the top 3 in all 3 stages. But yeah. But that leaves another question. Can he win 4 in a row? Because I'm debating if I want to bet on him. Unfortunately, I couldn't. FanDuel did not have the Grand Prix to bet on because, man, I'd have bet at Tyler Reddick, and I'm pretty sure I'd have won. But is he going to win the next one? Straight Talk Wireless 500 in Phoenix? I'm going to have to look at these numbers because I might bet on 3 different drivers, but I'm going to damn sure bet on Tyler Reddick to try and win 4 in a row. I'm going to definitely bet on 2 of my guys. I'm going to bet on William Byron. I'm going to bet on Chase Elliott. I'm going to probably look at the 4 best drivers, put $5 a piece on each of them, just pissing out $20 on FanDuel. It's not like I've never done that before. See what happens there. I'm gonna try and win some money. I ain't won money in a while on FanDuel. And we got March Madness coming up. Oh, we gonna talk March Madness, baby. I can't wait. With all the basketball we got going on, we'll talk more about that when we get to the H-Town talk. But that's your rundown of the Grand Prix. Tyler Reddick, 3 in a row. See if he can make it 4. Well, let's talk about something else that's big happening this year. 2026, despite everything going on around the world, we got a lot of good shit coming this way. We just had the Winter Olympics in Italy. We got the World Baseball Classics that started today. I'm going to break down later. We're about to talk FIFA. We got FIFA coming up. We got all sorts of great stuff. And they just revealed the group stage for FIFA. And I got it right here. So let me pop this down. And here is group stage for FIFA that's starting in June. So one group, we got Group A, Mexico, South Africa, and South Korea with a playoff spot. Okay, I just realized the playoff stuff. Not every group has this. Group B's has Canada, Qatar, and Switzerland. And whoever, I guess, earns a playoff spot there. C is fully locked in. Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. D consists of America, Paraguay, and Australia in a playoff spot. Group E, Germany, Morocco, Ivory Coast. Is that not Ireland? Why does it say Ivory Coast? Was this like another country I don't know about? Oh, West Africa. Okay. Man, that almost looked like, I thought that was Ireland for a second. Same colors, but the flags are opposite. If it was Ireland, green would be on the left, orange would be on the right. Ivory Coast is a country in West Africa, okay? And you got Ecuador. Group F, we got the Netherlands, Japan, Tunisia, and a playoff spot open. Group G, Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. Group H, Spain, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. Group I is France, Senegal, Norway, and a playoff spot. Group J, Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. Group K is Portugal, Uzbekistan, Colombia, and a playoff spot. And then finally, Group L, we got England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. And it all begins in June. Who's going to hold that trophy? Is it going to be the defending champs? Is it going to be Argentina? Are they going to go after title number 4? Is Brazil going to go after another title? Is Germany going to go after another title? Will America finally win a FIFA World Cup? Only time will tell, and we're counting down 4 more months until FIFA's underway. Here's a couple of stuff you can know about how this is going to play. This is going to go on from June all the way till mid-July. So about a month and a half going to go on. And here's the venues I know hosting FIFA World Cup. I think I've talked about this a while back. If I didn't do that, I think we talked about it on Open Mic. Majority of the games are going to be played in America. A couple of games in Mexico, a couple of games in Canada. Basically, America's majority hosting this. I know, like in America, Dallas, AT&T Stadium, the Meadowlands at MetLife, Atlanta, Kansas City, Houston, San Francisco, LA, Philly, Seattle, Boston, Miami, all hosting games, and it's all in NFL stadiums. So if I name just city, you know what stadiums they're playing at. I know in Mexico, Guadalajara, Monterrey, and Mexico City are hosting matchups. And in Canada, just 2 cities, Toronto and Vancouver, are hosting matchups. Group stage matchups are going to happen June 11th through the 27th. Round of 32 is going to be June 28th through July 3rd. The round of Sweet 16, July 4th through the 7th. Quarterfinals, July 9th through 11th. Semifinals, July 14th and 15th. Third place game, July 18th. And the finals will be July 19th. So we know those dates. And the finals, well, let's just say this. The final 4 are going to be in Dallas or Atlanta. Third place games in Miami, but the finals are going to be played at MetLife. So America's hosting like the most watched matchups. I'm excited. This is one of the most exciting times to watch soccer. If it's not the Olympics or Champions League or Copa America, CONCACAF, any of those matchups, FIFA happen every 4 years. Like it don't get no better than that. I couldn't imagine how it'd be if it happened every single year. I'm glad it doesn't. I'm excited. Let's see how far America can get. Now we could go ahead and get to the H-Town talk. And I'm going to bring up another special topic when we get to it. So let's just go ahead and jump it to the 713, shall we? Let's take it to H-Town. Welcome to the land where it just don't stop. Trunks pop, tops drops, and the front end hop. I'm going to start things off a little different. Before I get to any of talking on my teams, I'm going to talk about one team I'm fixing to be talking about starting at the end of the month. Since we're going to have football back on our TVs with the UFL, it was about a week ago. I forgot to talk about it last week, but I'm going to talk about it this week. They announced some new rules. And, of course, this is also going to relate to the Houston Gamblers. So that's why I'm doing this in the H-Town talk. So I know week 1 is at the end of the month. I think they start playing games, I think the 27th through the 29th. So here's my reactions to some of these new rules that they're going to debut in the UFL. They're now going to have 4-point field goals. Any successful field goal kick from 60 yards or further will be worth 4 points. I mean, we see 60-plus yard field goals in the NFL. We might get lucky to see it here, but hey, you can kick it 60 yards or more. You scored your team 4 points. I mean, do I give that a thumbs up or thumbs down? I mean, It's about time they recognize the love of some kickers these days. So you got a thumbs up for me on that. 1 foot inbounds is the next rule. The UFL will require only 1 foot inbounds for a legal catch, adopting NCAA rules to increase passing and scoring and potentially enhance players' safety. Do you got to lie to us just to try and make this fair for everybody? Because, yes, I've seen countless bullshit calls where, oh, it was ruled incomplete. He had just 1 foot inbounds where you needed, quote unquote, 2 feet inbounds. I'll give this a thumbs up, but just fucking be honest. You're just doing this to make it fair, especially if he just had a tiny bit of toe in the grass. I'll get a thumbs up for that. Red zone penalties. The UFL will reinstitute the rule of half the distance to the goal for penalties committed in the red zone, which reverts back to the current NFL rules. Okay. Wasn't this to begin with? In fact, if this has always been like that, and you just, with how stupid that sounds, I'm going to get a thumbs down. No punting inside the 50-yard line. No punts will be allowed from anywhere inside the opponent's 50-yard line plus 49-yard and in unless it is less than 2 minutes until the half or the end of the game. Once the ball is made ready to play inside the 50-yard line, a team cannot punt even if a subsequent penalty or loss of yardage moves the ball behind the 50. And if the ball's on the 50-yard line, the team may punt. The fuck? Late clip for this. Get back! Get back! That's the dumbest thumbs down to that. Dumb rule right there. Okay, they got an overtime rule. 3 attempts per team. 3 teams will alternate attempts from the 5-yard line. If after 3 attempts per team, the tie remains, the teams will alternate attempts until a winner is determined. The home team will have the choice to go on offense or defense first. A coin toss will be implemented in place of the home team's choice. As long as it don't involve, which at least you don't have time for this. You're kind of doing the college rule where we're not going to quit until we have a winner. So, I mean, but 3 attempts doesn't sound fair, but I'll give it a thumbs up just to be fair for whoever pulls it off. Points after a touchdown. Okay, teams will have 3 scrimmage play options to elect their point after touchdown attempts, plus a new 1-point kick option. You get a 1-point conversion if you kick from the 30. Okay, so this means when you go into to a different possession. Okay, so if you kick from the 33-yard line, you get 1 point. Are they talking about a kickoff? Is it like that? Like an arena football? If it goes through the middle, you get a point. Like an arena football. The 2-point conversion, of course, if the ball's placed at the 2-yard line after a touchdown. Oh, wait. No, this is after a touchdown. Okay, never mind. I read that wrong. Okay. The 2-point conversion rule is the same, like any other, like technical football. But the extra point, if you get an extra, of course, you kick the extra point. But if you kick it from the 33-yard line, it's 1 point. But you could go for a 3-point conversion if you go for 3, if the ball's placed at the 8-yard line. The first 2 are obvious, but it's like the 3-point rule kind of sounds a little corny. But hey, it's just trying to make the game more interesting. I'll give you a thumbs up for that. Okay, here's the kickoff rules, and this is what we got left. For kickoff line, the ball will be kicked from 30. Okay. For kickoff team, the 10 remaining players on the kickoff team will line up at the receiving team's 45. Receiving team zone, the receiving team's setup zone will stretch from its 40-yard line to the 35-yard line and must have at least 9 players in that zone. Okay, so they're doing like the NFL because this one's called the next rules for the landing zone. The landing zone will be from the receiving team's 20-yard line to the goal line. So they're giving them more yards. In the NFL, you only got 10 yards for a landing zone. The UFL, they're giving you 10 more. The ball must reach the landing zone or it will be spotted at the 40. If the ball travels out of bounds, it will be spotted at the 40. That's which the NFL, what is it, the 35? So they're only going 5 more yards up. And touchback spots, there will be 2 touchback spots. The 40-yard line for balls kicked into the end zone and the 20-yard line for balls that hit in the landing zone and then enter the end zone. The first 4, I'll give you a thumbs up. But the touchback spots rule, I'm going to give you a thumbs down. That's stupid as shit. But hey, are you excited for the UFL making its return in a couple weeks? Or are you excited for the World Baseball Classic? And I'm talking about it in H-Town because Houston is one of the 4 spots that's going to host Baseball Classic matchups. Them, Miami, San Juan, Puerto Rico, and Tokyo. I know it started today, which I haven't watched any games yet. Wait until USA starts. Let's see what's happened so far. What's coming up too in Houston this weekend? All right, so we actually got one game going on right now. The first game is being played right now and it's in the Tokyo Dome. We got Chinese Taipei in Australia going on right now. Well, here's the pools first. Let's talk about the pools real quick. So Pool A, we got Cuba, Canada, Puerto Rico, Panama, and Colombia. Pool B, we got Mexico, Italy, USA, Brazil, and Great Britain. Pool C, we got Taipei, Japan, Korea, Australia, and the Czech Republic. And Pool D, you got Venezuela, the Netherlands, Israel, the Dominican Republic. What's NCA? Oh, Nicaragua. Did I say right? Nicaragua. So they play Friday. Okay. All right. I'm just going to go till next week's show, which I don't even know what I'm doing next week. Tomorrow morning, we got Czechia and Korea at 4 a.m. If you're going to get up at 4 a.m. to watch baseball, Australia and Czechia play at 9. These games must be, these must be in Tokyo. Yeah, so Czechia is playing 2 games tomorrow. Friday, Japan versus Taipei, Cuba, Panama, Netherlands, Venezuela, Mexico, Great Britain, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Nicaragua, and Dominican Republic. U.S. versus Brazil. By the way, U.S. is playing in Houston if you want to go see them. China, Taipei, and Czechia on Friday. Saturday, Korea versus Japan, Colombia versus Canada, Nicaragua versus the Netherlands, Brazil versus Italy, Panama versus Puerto Rico, Israel versus Venezuela, Great Britain versus U.S., and Taipei versus Korea. I was looking at going to USA versus Great Britain because I feel like that's the only time I'm going to get to go, but tickets are actually not a bad price. I found some good seats. The cheapest ticket I found was like $40. But I'm going to decline. I mean, maybe another time if I get lucky, I might get a chance to go. I mean, it'd be nice to go check out the World Baseball Classic. But I didn't even look at the lineup. I don't even know who's representing USA. Sundays, Australia, Japan, Colombia, Cuba, Netherlands, Dominican Republic, Great Britain versus Italy, Panama versus Canada, Nicaragua versus Israel, and Brazil versus Mexico. That's a lot of matchups. I might just focus on how US does because that's a lot of damn matchups to like recap. I want to see when. I want to see the calendar. Of when it wraps up. It started today, so it's like 2 weeks of baseball. Because the last day is on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. That's the last day of the World Baseball Classic. And it's a Tuesday night. They're going to play that championship. And they're playing it in Miami. Okay. We'll see how the U.S. does. I might talk more about it. But now let's get to some real H-Town talk, folks. I'll go ahead and start with the Houston Cougars. Sound the alarm because, ladies and gentlemen, this is the red alert.
Go Cougs, this is a red alert.
C-O-U-G-A-R-A. Who it's all about?
It's all about the Cougars.
It's all about the Cougars.
Got out of that jersey quick. All right, so this is the red alert where I talk Houston Cougar basketball. They're actually currently playing their final game of the regular season right now. Let's recap after last week's show. They played Colorado, and they got the win. After dropping 3 in a row, they started off they're trying to start off the month of March with a win, but they closed out the month of February with a win. They beat Colorado after dropping 3 in a row, 3 big games they needed to win. They beat Colorado 102-62. They're still the number 5 team in the country. Well, no, they dropped to 7. I'm sorry. They dropped 2 spots after losing 3 in a row. Here's some numbers against Colorado. Milo Suzanne at 26 points. He had 1 rebound and 6 assists. Mercy Miller led in rebounds with 8. He also had 10 points. Kingston Flemings led assists with 8, with a turnover, 11 points, 6 rebounds. Joseph Tugler had 14 points, 2 rebounds, and assists. And Chris Sinnock Jr. had 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. They're trailing by 1 right now with Baylor 44-43 with about under 16 minutes to go in the second half. Before they go into tournament play, they got 1 more game left. They go to Oklahoma State Saturday morning, tip-off at 11 a.m. As of right now, the Cougars sit at 24-5 overall with a Big 12 record of 12-4. They're going to be short of winning the regular season conference that will go to Arizona. But if they can win out, they can lock in the number 2 seed in the Big 12 tournament and not have to play till the quarterfinals. And I got a couple of tournament brackets I'm going to reveal later for some other basketball teams I cover. But by next week, I will have a Big 12 bracket to reveal, and we'll see what the Cougars' fate is of winning another Big 12 tournament. So let's keep this ball rolling. Let's try and get back to another Final Four and another national title appearance, and maybe they can finally win their first national championship. Let's keep the basketball talk rolling in Houston. Now let's get out the lighters because it is time to light the fuse. You talk the Houston Rockets.
Light it up, light it up, light it up, light the fuse, light it up, light it up.
Taking out like a rocket.
Light it up, light it up, light it up, light the fuse, light it up, light it up, light it up,
out like a rocket.
Well, since last week's show, first off, this is Light the Fuse, where we talk the Houston Rockets. Since last week's show, they've played 3 games. They've won 2 out of 3. They closed out the month of February playing 2 games in Florida. They got a victory over the Magic, 113-108, but they fell to the Miami Heat to close out February, 115-105. I didn't type these up, but let's see some quick leaders in that game. Kevin Durant led in points with 40. Andy led in rebounds with 8. Şengün led in assists with 5, plus 3 turnovers. That was in their win over the Magic. Their loss to Miami, KD led in points again with 32, and he also led in assists with 8 and a turnover. Amen Thompson led in rebounds with 11. Let's see how many rebounds KD had. KD had 5 rebounds. Mint Thompson at 20 points, Şengün 13, Reed Shepherd 14. Tyree Easton also had 11 rebounds against Miami. But they kicked off the month of March with a win on the road in D.C. They beat the Wizards 123-118, where Şengün led in that game with points with 32 and rebounds with 13. Reed Shepherd led in assists with 10 plus 3 turnovers. KD had 30 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 6 turnovers against Washington. Mint Thompson had 22 points. Reed Shepherd had 19. Mint Thompson had 12 rebounds. Finley Smith had 5, 6 rebounds. So not bad against DC. So 15 games left for the month of March, 7 in April. So that's what, 22 games for the remainder of the season before they go into the playoffs. Hopefully they keep this rolling, because as of right now, the Houston Rockets are 38-22 overall, 3rd in the Western Conference. Overall in the league, they're 6th. And in their division, they're right behind the San Antonio Spurs, 2nd place in the Southwest. They have a chance to keep on winning. Maybe they can surpass the Spurs. They got to keep on winning. So here's what they got coming up, at least till next Wednesday. Tomorrow night, they host the Warriors. You can watch it on Prime. Friday, they host the Trailblazers. Sunday, big important game. They go to San Antonio to play the Spurs. You can watch it on NBC. Peacock Sunday Night Showdown. Tuesday night, they host the Raptors. And Wednesday night, they go to Denver to play the Nuggets. Late night game on ESPN. Current leaders right now this season. Kevin Durant still leading in points. As of right now, he's averaging 26.3 points per game. Şengün still leading in rebounds, assists, and blocks. He's averaging 9.2 rebounds, 6.3 assists, and 1.1 blocks per game. And Amin Thompson leading in steals, averaging 1.5 steals per game. Rockets are getting back on track. And to close the H-Town talk, we're going to do another Dynamo talk. And I'm not coming on here to talk shit. I knew this was coming. They hosted a tough LAFC team. They got shut out 2-0. So the Dynamo are currently 1-1. They took their first loss this season. I'll take that than them going 0-2. But they just had a bad game. They had a bad matchup. 29.2% possession, 3 shots on goal, 12 shot attempts, 1 yellow card, 4 corner kicks, and 4 saves. I know they were supposed to have a matchup with the Revolution, but it got postponed. I don't know if they got severe weather in Boston. Anybody in Boston tuning in? What's the weather like? Is it snowy? Is it rainy? What's going on? Why is this game getting postponed? Where if you want to watch the Dynamo, you got to at least wait till March 14th when they host the Timbers. And then they got FC Dallas in Dallas on the 21st. Maybe they'll play like on a Sunday or a Monday. Who knows? But as of right now, they're still postponed. Okay, moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take it to my neck of the woods. And let's go to the 3-3-7. We are now in the 3-3-7. And I should have played it already. We're going to start with Magnes basketball. So let's go ahead and start this off with the Bayou Bandit duel. Not only we're going to start with Magnes basketball, but I got to do some acknowledgement first. Before I talk about the men's basketball team, I can't believe I haven't talked about this team all season. Oh, and I'm going to give them some love today. Shout out to the Magnes Cowgirl basketball team, because they clinched the regular season Southland Conference Championship for the first time since 2011. They win the regular season conference, and they're going into the Southland Conference tournament, the number 1 seed. We're going to look at all that debate. Congratulations to the Cowgirls winning the regular season conference, going in the tournament with the number 1 seed, and try and win it all. Congrats to them. It's been a while since they had that great success. I want to see where they sit right now going into the tournament play. McNeese Cowgirls finished the regular season with an overall record of 27-4, with a conference record of 21-1. Their home record was outstanding. They would have had a perfect home record, but they had 1 home loss. Home record was 12-1. I want to see who they lost to at home. Maybe it was back in January. Nope. Maybe it was December. They lost back on their only home loss was December 15th against Northwestern State. Hey, congrats to the Cowgirls for making it this far. By the way, I got my first bracket we're going to reveal with the Southland Conference tournament coming to play. Well, you know what? Before I do all that, let's recap the men's regular season too. Even though they do not win the regular season outright, that went to Stephen F. Austin, at least the McNeese Cowboys basketball team finished strong. They finished their last 2 games with wins. They beat New Orleans on the road. They were both on the road. They beat New Orleans in a battle, 66-63. Larry Johnson, I got a lot of good stuff to say about old Larry, and he made history. Against Uno, 17, he led in the game with points and rebounds, 17 points, 7 rebounds, and an assist. Tyshawn Archie led in assists with 3, plus 3 turnovers, and he had 17 points and 2 rebounds. And then their final regular season game, they go to Nichols. They go down to Thibodaux. They beat Nichols 75-65. Once again, Larry Johnson and Tyshawn Archie leading the numbers. Larry Johnson leading in points and rebounds again. 25 points and 6 rebounds against the Colonels. Tyshawn Archie led in assists with 5, with 18 points and 2 rebounds. I got it right here. I had to pull the tweet up. Larry Johnson made history, and his last layup again in that Nichols game. He's only a freshman. This is only season playing with the Pokes. He surpassed the great Joe Dumas's record in freshman scoring. The record was 527 points from Joe Dumas in 1981 and 82. Larry Johnson passed that when he scored 22 points. Well, no, that was during the time he had 22 points. He ended the night with 25, but 529 points. So now that puts him at 530. He's got to be at 531 or 32 now if he closed the night with 25 points. 532 points as of right now. He holds that record. So congratulations to Larry Johnson. You making us proud. Great moment they showed in the locker room with him and Coach Armstrong and company. But McNeese, who is hosting the Southland Conference tournament yet again, I'm so happy. I want to say, I think they're going to be hosting it for a while. This is their 3rd year in a row. Over the years, it's been in Katy, Texas. But since they changed it where, instead of going on a neutral site, we want a school hosting it. I don't know if anybody else. I thought Southeastern hosted it 1 year or Uno hosted it 1 year. But McNeese signed a contract. They're going to host the Southland Conference tournament at least till 2030. So they got the tournament in the bag to host for 4 more years. And that court, they changed it to, I wish I had the image. Beautiful. And I would love to see it in person. Tickets are available now, but oh my God. Let me tell you a story real quick before I pull this bracket up. It's so cheap to go to a McNeese game. $10 for general admission. Reserved seating, I think it's like right around $20. That's not bad. But with the conference tournament, there's no more general admission. They turn the general admission seats into reserved seating, and they turn the original reserved seatings to premium seating. So to sit in the general admission section that will now be called reserve section, your cheapest ticket is $40. Okay. But your reserve seating, that will be now known as premium seating for that week, is $90 plus or more. I mean, no shit. When I saw these ticket prices, I was like, or even better, I was like,
What the fuck?
bro, no way in hell I'm going to pay that much for, I'll pay that for Houston or if LSU was ever that damn good again. But McNeese, oh my God, no. You'd be lucky if I pay $40 for a ticket. That is outrageous, but I get it. The conference got to make their money. The school got to make their money. It's greedy, but I get it. That's how business and marketing and shit works these days. But I'm still going to probably end up going there. Let me show you the men's bracket first, and this is why. Here's the men's bracket. First round games will start Sunday, March 8th. We'll start with Houston Christian in New Orleans and Northwestern State Nichols. You got second round games Monday, March 9th. Corpus and Rio Grande Valley get first round byes. The Islanders will host the winner of Uno and Houston Christian, and the Vaqueros will host the winner of Northwestern State Nichols. Stephen F. Austin, who are the regular season champs, and McNeese, who are the defending tournament champs, get a first and second round bye all the way to the quarterfinals. Thank you, Jesus. Look at that start time for McNeese. That's why I want to be there. And I can at least be there for that, because whoever makes it to the finals on Wednesday, March 11th, the game will tip off at 4 p.m. Central on national TV. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make the title game if McNeese were to win, but I will at least say I'll be there for the semifinals, even if I pay $40 to watch McNeese hopefully get a win. Let's get this ball rolling. Let's win another tournament in our house. And here is the women's bracket. Theirs are going to start a day after. First round games will be Monday, March 9th. You got East Texas A&M versus Northwestern State. The winner plays UT Rio Grande Valley in the second round. Vaqueros get a first round bye. Then you got Nichols and Incarnate Word. The winner plays Stephen F. Austin in the second round and gets a first round bye. But the top two, McNeese Cowgirls, are the number 1 seed, and Lamar is the number 2. First and second round byes into the semis. They're going to play those in the morning. So if you got that day off, you get a chance to watch the Cowgirls in the morning and come back at night to watch the Pokes. But the sad part is you have to buy 2 separate tickets. So if you're trying to go to both games, you're going to probably pay over $100. With the title game being Thursday, March 12th at 4 o'clock p.m. Central on ESPNU. So that's what we got for the Pokes. Speaking of the Pokes, I'll finish talking them up before I move on to some UL baseball. I know McNeese baseball. Let's talk about what happened after that LSU win. They played 5 games, and they've won 4 out of 5. So they're, despite their overall record being 7-6, they got themselves a 2-game win streak, but they're trying to get back in the win column. So they've beat Nichols 2 out of 3. They went to Thibodeau. They won game 1 8-1, game 2 11-4, but they dropped this third game 3-2. Tuesday night, they went back to Baton Rouge and they beat Southern 14-5. So McNeese is undefeated against in-state teams. They've beat Louisiana Tech. They beat LSU. Take that back. Nichols, maybe let's say on the weekdays, not the weekends. Non-conference in-state opponents. They are undefeated. But overall against the state, they are 5-1. But I'm going to rephrase that. Against non-conference in-state opponents, they're 3-0. And they beat LSU, Alexandria, and 12-2. So now they're 4-0 now. Make that 4-0. All right, what's next? This weekend, they host Houston Christian in a 3-game series. 6 p.m. Friday, 2 p.m. Saturday, 1 p.m. Sunday. And then next Wednesday, they get a chance to go to the Teague to take on the Raging Cajuns. So that's what we got for the Pokes baseball team. McNeese softball, which I forgot to post this right here. McNeese softball doing pretty good right now. Their overall record right now is 5-3. Let's see what happened. What the hell? Well, where's the rest of their schedule? What the fuck? You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do it on my phone. I don't know why I was thinking trying to do this shit on the PC. I got the McNeese app. Just give me some time. All right, McNeese, as of right now, since last week's show, they've been rolling lately. Since last week's show, after that loss to LSU, they went on a 3-game win streak. They beat Iowa 11-4, and they beat Baylor. They beat Baylor back-to-back? Holy shit. Well, they played a 3-game series with them. They won the first game 5-4, and they won the second game 6-2, but they dropped the final game 8-0. And then Tuesday, they beat Houston 14-9. Holy shit. What is their actual record? That's what I want to know. Anyhow, what's next for the Cowgirls? They got the Battle of the Border. They host Lamar this weekend, 6 p.m. Friday, 1 p.m. Saturday, 3 p.m. on Sunday, and then Wednesday they go to Louisiana Tech. Keep on rolling, girls. All right, and then to wrap up the 337, let's do a quick baseball in Southwest Louisiana. We'll start with the Raging Cajuns, who are currently playing LSU right now, but let's talk about what happened before they got to LSU. Oh, the Raging Cajuns are currently 10-3 now. Since the last game, which was Kansas State, they hosted UC San Diego, where they dropped the first game 7-3, but won game 2 8-0, and won game 3 4-3, and they just beat LSU 7-2. So you better be lucky I don't have a voice right now. And what's next for the Cajuns? Well, they hit the road. They go to Dallas Baptist for a 3-game series. 6:05 Friday, 3:05 Saturday, 1:05 Sunday, and then they're back at the T Tuesday night to host UT Rio Grande Valley and McNeese Wednesday, March 11th. And then finally, LSU Eunice. Their overall record's 14-3. They welcomed Murray State back to Baton Rouge, and Murray State is still the only team in junior college baseball to beat the Bengals. And now they've beaten them 2 more times. First series, the Bengals lost this season. They dropped game 1 4-3. They dropped game 2 15-8, but they picked up the final game 15-4. And then they had another scrimmage play with Centenary yesterday. Well, this weekend they're back at Bengals Stadium with a 4-game series with Southeast Arkansas, the Sharks. 6 p.m. on Friday, a doubleheader Saturday at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m., and Sunday they wrap it up at 1 p.m. And then Tuesday they hit the road to Galveston College. That's all they got for next show. So hopefully the Bengals can keep on rolling. All right. Now let's go to Tigerland. We talk LSU. Let's go to the 225. Oh, man. We are now in the 225, and do I just want to get it over with? Let's just get it over with. LSU baseball. What the fuck is going on? Now I'm just updating your shit. Before I came on here, I did up to their last game with Northeastern. But now after that loss to the Raging Cajuns, you dropped to 11-3. You're now on a 2-game losing streak. You welcomed Dartmouth and Northeastern over the weekend. You played a 4-game series. You beat Dartmouth 5-2 the first game. You won the second game 3-0. You handled your business with Dartmouth. But Northeastern out of Boston, you got the first win 3-1, but you were trailing 10-0. You tried to make a comeback, but it was too late. Northeastern beat you 13-10, their biggest win in that franchise's career. And for that whole franchise team. Oh, man. Jay Johnson, what is going on over there at the box? And now I got to hear for a whole fucking year about the Raging Cajuns. The only sport they can beat LSU in, plus basketball. What is going on? Oh, my God. Let's see if they at least updated the stats involving the Raging Cajuns. Because of what I had typed, this was before the UL game. So, here we go. So far this season, they're 11-3. They've had a total, so far this season, 126 runs, 140 hits, 28 doubles, 3 triples, 20 home runs, 110 RBIs, 89 base on balls, 1 intentional walk. They've been hit by a pitch 22 times. They've been struck out 92 times. 7 grounded into double plays. And 7 sacrifice flies. 4 sacrifice hits. 11 stolen bases. They were caught stealing 3 times. And their batting average is .304. While the pitching crew so far this season have only allowed 97 hits, 64 runs, 55 errors, 51 base on balls. They struck out 182 players. It's the only positive number right there. 182 strikeouts. They've allowed 17 doubles, 9 home runs. They've had 19 wild pitches. They've hit 20 batters and 5 saves. And their ERA so far this season is 4.16. Current leaders. I know Jake Brown's still on top for batting. His batting average is .400. He's already had 14 runs, 24 home runs, 25 doubles, 24 hits, 5 home runs so far this season. Yeah, 14 runs, 24 hits, 5 doubles, 5 home runs, 20 RBIs, 44 total bases, 5 walks. His slugging percentage is .733. He's been struck out 5 times. He's been hit by a pitch once. His on-base percentage is .455. He's leading at that. While William Schmidt is leading in the pitching crew. So far, in 3 games that he started, in 16 total innings, he's allowed 10 hits. He allowed 3 runs, 3 errors, 4 base on balls. He struck out 25 times. He struck out 25 people. He allowed 1 double, 1 home run against 64 different batters he faced. He threw 3 wild pitches. He hit 2 batters. Like, He's leading in pitching right now. But we need to do better. What's next for LSU? Oh, Lord, let's see. I'm still never going to get over that. You thought that loss to McNeese was bad. UL's going to be worse. All right, so they welcome Sacramento State this weekend. 6:30 Friday, 6 p.m. Saturday, 1 p.m. Sunday. And then they host Creighton on Tuesday. And then they finally go in SEC play next weekend with Vanderbilt on the road. Okay. And then let's look at LSU softball real quick before I get into LSU basketball. I know they already went into conference play. So, LSU softball, well, they didn't even go into conference play yet. They had a doubleheader on Friday. Well, they had the what was it? The Purple and Gold. It was one of them tournaments. It was the Purple and Gold Challenge, I think, or the Tiger Invitational, one or the other. They've been on a hot streak now. They're on a 10-game win streak. After their McNeese win, they beat Nichols 3-1. They beat Memphis twice, 11-2 and 7-0, and they beat Iowa 5-3. They go into conference play this weekend. They go to Knoxville to play Tennessee. 5 p.m. on Friday, 2 p.m. Saturday, 1 p.m. Sunday, and then Tuesday they go to Nichols to play the Colonels. I want to see their current record. So as of right now, LSU is number 17 in the country. Where's their record? I want to see what their record it is. Here we go. They're 17-4. Okay, 17-4 right now. 10-game win streak, undefeated at home. Simply most of their games at home. All their losses were on the road. All right, now grab the popcorn because it is time to talk LSU basketball, and this segment is called The PMAC Show. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the PMAC Show. And we'll go ahead and start with Kim Mulkey's Tigers because they are officially about to be, well, the SEC tournament, I think, is going on right now. A lot of the Power 5 basketball tournaments for the girls are underway. But let's recap their final 2 games of the regular season. Both wins. They beat Tennessee 89-73. Michaela Williams across the board led in everything. 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. And then their final regular season game, they went on the road and beat Mississippi State 72-63. Once again, Michaela Williams across the board, led in everything. 26 points, 15 rebounds, and 4 assists. LSU girls close out the regular season with an overall record of 26-4, with an SEC record of 12-4, number 6 in the country. And let's go ahead, and I'm going to pull up the SEC tournament bracket, which I think is currently going on right now. It started today. Yeah, there you see. Arkansas and Kentucky played this morning. I want to see who won these games, by the way. But you look at LSU. LSU is in the top 4. They get a first, second round bye. They're in the quarterfinals. So that's the schedule. Let's see. All right. First game, Kentucky beat Arkansas 94-64, so they'll play Georgia. Florida beat Mississippi State 86-68. They will play Oklahoma. Auburn beat Texas A&M 50-49, and they'll play Ole Miss. And Alabama beat Missouri 65-48. They're going to play Tennessee tomorrow. That's your matchups. So the winner of Tennessee and Alabama gets LSU. No. Shit. No, I'm sorry. The winner of Florida and Oklahoma gets LSU. I forgot. So, and I like how they're trying not to put an LSU South Carolina game in the finals. We're going to get it in the semis. So I'm not going to give my hopes up. I already know they lost, 18 in a row against freaking Dawn Staley and her Gamecocks. Maybe they could finally end it. But hey, the SEC tournament's in Greenville, South Carolina. There's a lot of cocks over there. Swinging. But Matt McMahon's Tigers. I know last week's show you were playing Ole Miss, but that was the last win you guys had. I'm just going to shoot that out there. Y'all went into double overtime and y'all got the win. 106-99. Congratulations. You finally won a game. But then you dropped the next two. You lost to Oklahoma 83-67. And then you go on the road and lose to Auburn 88-74. You got one more game. Well, you got two more games left, technically. You got your final regular season game with A&M. And then you some magically how made it in the SEC tournament. That'll be your last game. And then the circus shit is finally over. LSU currently sits 15-15 overall with an SEC record of 3-14. The second. Tied with South Carolina, the worst record in the SEC. And that's it for the Baton Rouge, for the 225 talk. I got one more thing left to talk. This is going to be a quickie. Let's go ahead and take it to the Big Easy, 504, and go straight to the Pelicans talk and take flight. Let's wrap this up right now, folks. And we are about to wrap up the show with Take Flight, where I talk Pelicans basketball. And I'm just going to quickly run through this. They've had 4 games since last show, and they've won 2 out of 4. They went from winning 2 in a row to dropping 2 in a row. So since last stream, they've played back-to-back games with the Utah Jazz on the road, and they handled their business with Utah. They won the first game 129-118, and the second game 115-105. Let's look at some numbers real quick. Shadiq Bey led in points with 42. In the first game, Shadiq Bey led in points with 42. Derek Queen led in rebounds. And DeJounte Murray led in assists with 9. Zion, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 turnover in the first game. The second game against Utah, Shadiq Bey led in points with 24. Jeremiah Fears led in rebounds with 11, and Herb Jones led in assists with 7. Zion, this 4 points, 1 rebound, and 2 assists, but he only played for 11 minutes. Don't tell me he got hurt again. I haven't been keeping up with the Pels because their season's fixing to wrap up. But they went to L.A., lost to both teams. They got their ass stomped by the Clippers, 137-117. You had a tight game with the Lakers, but you fell 110-101. The Clippers game, Jeremiah Fears led in points with 28. Yves Missy led in rebounds with 8. And DeJounte Murray led in assists with 5. And Zion did not play in this game. How much you want to bet he didn't play in that Lakers game either? Oh, he did. He was only out 1 game. Okay. Zion led in that game with 24 points. Trey Murphy led in rebounds with 8, and DeJounte Murray led in assists with 8. Zion also had 4 rebounds and 2 turnovers. The New Orleans Pelicans currently sit 19-44. Third to last in the Western Conference. In the league, they're not dead last. They're the 6th worst. But they're in last place in their division. Shockingly, they ain't started announcing yet, but we can just go ahead and put it in the bag and say that the Pelicans are eliminated from playoff contention. Because looking at the conference, oh yeah, I think this is all locked. It's kind of locked in. Stat leaders, Trey Murphy leads in points, averaging 22 points per game this season. Derek Queen leads in rebounds and assists, averaging 7.2 rebounds per game and 3.9 assists per game. Herb Jones is leading in steals, averaging 1.6 steal per game, and Yves Missy leads in blocks, averaging 1.4 blocks per game. And the Pelicans, 19 total games left, 13 in the month of March and 6 in April, and their season's wrapped up. And this show is about to wrap up. Thank y'all for tuning in. Sorry you had to hear me like this, but hopefully I can promise you this when next week comes. Hopefully my voice will be fully clear. I don't sound like I'm hoarse. I can actually scream and talk shit. But maybe I shouldn't scream anymore. Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless you all. God bless America. Remember, check on your loved ones. Still losing people to this day, man. I know. Sad loss for the LSU family last week. Rest in peace, Devontae Lee, a Neat native. Played for LSU. Great guy. He played his final basketball career in high school at my alma mater in the quarterfinals. We beat them. Got to meet him after the game. I didn't take pictures on my Facebook if you want to see it. And rest in peace to one of the greatest in college football. They announced earlier today, the great Lou Holtz passed. I think he was 89 years old. He passed away earlier today. One of the all-time greats. He made a career at Notre Dame. He also coached at South Carolina. I know he was behind the desk at one point in college football. I want to see Lou Holtz's numbers before I wrap this show up. I want to see everywhere he's coached. But he passed away at 89 years old. He played linebacker at Kent State. He started his career in 1960 as an assistant at Iowa. Then he was an assistant with teams like William & Mary, UConn, South Carolina, Ohio State. He got his first head coaching job at William & Mary from 69 to 71. Went to NC State from 72 to 75. Went to the NFL for one season. He went to the New York Jets at 76. Came back to college. Coached a lone career at Arkansas from 77 to 83. 2 seasons at Minnesota from 84-85. But he made a name for himself after 10 seasons at Notre Dame from 86 to 96. And finished his coaching career at South Carolina from 1999 to 2004. His overall coaching record, 249 wins, 132 losses, and 7 ties. His NFL coaching career, 3-10. His bowl record, 12 wins, 8 losses, and 2 ties. He was a conference champion 3 times. A national champion in 1988 with Notre Dame. Notre Dame's last national title, he was the head coach. 2-time Paul Bear Bryant Award winner, 2-time Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year, 2-time Sporting News College Football COY Coach of the Year, Walter Camp Coach of the Year Award winner, 2-time Woody Hayes Trophy winner. He was also ACC Coach of the Year in 72, SWC Coach of the Year in 79, SEC Coach of the Year in 2000, and Presidential Medal of Freedom. He was awarded that in 2020 for President Trump. And he was also inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2008. So what we met, and he was a very funny guy, especially behind the desk. He's going to be missed. My semi-condolences to his family, to the University of Notre Dame, South Carolina, any of the other schools he's coached that are affected by it. Semi-condolences to all those schools and universities. We lost a great coach in Lou Holtz. May he rest in peace. But check on your loved ones, man, like always. Check on your loved ones, see how they're doing. God bless y'all. God bless America. Love y'all. I'm out. Next week, we'll see how it goes. If I go to the McNeese semifinal game in the Southland Conference Tournament, I will probably do the show on Tuesday, March 10th, or I will push it to Thursday, March 12th. That's all I can guarantee. That's if I go to that game. If I don't, same time, same place next Wednesday at 9 p.m. But if not, when. But thank y'all. Peace, love. I'm out. Y'all have a good night and a great week.